Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and boy oh boy do I keep my expectations really low in check. Now if you all know, GTA 5 just got released. You might be like, whoa, really? Again? Yeah, this is a PS3 game that got re-released on the PS4, that got re-released on the PC, that just got re-released yesterday on the old PS5, on the old Xbox Series S and X. Now, again, like I said, I keep my expectations really low. First time making love, expectations super low. Uncle did not disappoint me on that one. So when it comes to Grand Theft Auto, I kept my expectations really low. After the trilogy dropped, I figured, whoa, Grand Theft Auto expanded and enhanced? Woohoo! What's expanded and what's enhanced? Now, to understand, I'm pretty sure Rockstar's wallets got expanded and enhanced, but as far as us gamers are considered, what really changed in the world of Grand Theft Auto 5? The hell that we are stuck in for almost 10 goddamn years. Woohoo! Yeah, GTA is getting old. It's getting 10 years. We're about to have the anniversary edition for GTA 5 drop next year. Now, hey, listen, I know GTA 6 is definitely around the bend. I keep lying to myself all the time. But yesterday came out the update to Grand Theft Auto, and it wasn't a free update. Ooh, no, not a free one. Not a free update like games of Cyberpunk 2077's caliber would do. Games like Watch Dogs Legion, games like Elden Ring. No. I think Elden Ring's a free update. I hope it's a free... Is it a free one? Let me check. Oh, hell, okay, yeah, it's a free upgrade for PS4 owners. God bless. Same thing I assume for Xbox, because they have that smart delivery stuff. But yeah, this was not a free update. In fact, if we want to go over the pricing real quickly, according to the actual pricing, for PlayStation users, okay, if you get the online mode, provided you have Plus, I believe, they give it to you for free, okay? If you want that story mode, it's $10 or 10 euros or whatever. And that's a 75% discount. After a while, after 3 months, this thing is jacked up to $40, which is a fair price for a game that's almost 10 years old, I guess. Xbox Series X. If you're an Xbox player, you better pony up 10 euros extra, 10 dolans extra, because you got to pay a bit more for it. And then it's going to jack itself up after 3 months for $40. So that's pretty much the market that you're expecting for this game. Now, you might be wondering, oh man, it's not a free update? Well, it better come with a lot of upgrades. It better be really expanded and enhanced before we actually commit to buying this. Now, for $10, I wanted to go over what we actually got for GTA 5, which is actually very little. I didn't want to jump into the land of GTA clickbait and basically tell you about the 300 mini features that you ended up getting. Listen, let's talk about what we actually got. Now, Rockstar published this amazing document for us to read through. Welcome back to Los Santos. Experience entertainment blockbusters GTA 5 and GTA Online on the latest generation of consoles. Now, I want to start the video off also by saying that I believe Grand Theft Auto 5 is an amazing title. To be honest with you, I played this game single player so much, and I enjoyed it. To me, it's like a movie version of Heat. A video game version of my favorite movie known as Heat. I have no qualms about that. If you have never played Grand Theft Auto 5, this might be the best way for the console players to pick it up and experience what, in my opinion, is a pretty good single-player campaign, let alone the online stuff, which I've dumped hundreds upon hundreds of hours into. So they start off by saying stunning visuals. Now, there's no denying Grand Theft Auto 5 has some pretty looking visuals. I still think it is one of the best rendered open worlds, even from the PS3 era. Like, that game blew my mind away on the PlayStation 3. When it updated itself onto the PS4 with new graphical techniques, better reflections, better SSR, better everything, I was blown away. The AI was there, the crowd density was there, the vehicle density was there. However, on the PlayStation 5, it really seems like what we got was a sort of up... They sort of just upped the visual settings on the PC version. Like, if the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions were medium to high settings, this is just high settings across the board. Some of those settings may not be hitting the Ultra, simply because even those settings are a bit unoptimized for the PC and very much more demanding for these systems. But this is a high settings PC experience across the board. Now, here they told us about it's going up to 4K resolution, up to... That's advertising speak for we do a little upscaling around here. Actually, if anything, if you wanted to know what the actual rendered resolutions were, it has 3 modes: Fidelity, Performance, and Performance Ray Tracing, which we're going to get to. Now, Fidelity mode has about native 4K support for like Xbox Series X and PS5. Not for the Series S. Y'all get upscaled, okay? Then you've got Performance mode, where instead of 30 frames, which the 30 frames actually still sucks to play on the console, 60 is a definite upgrade. That is in performance mode, and you basically get an upscaled 4K and 1080p on the Series S. This is the way console people should play the game. 60 frames absolutely is the upgrade that's quite honestly the most important. And if this game didn't hit 60 frames, oh man, this video would be way more intense, because this game is almost 10 years old. This is a PS3 title. If this isn't able to hit 60 frames on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and the S, I'm gonna be a little shocked. Then you've got performance ray tracing mode, which basically allows you to have some ray tracing with the 60 frames, or up to 60 frames in this case. So let's get into all these graphical features even more. Now, of course, HDR is the big thing here, right? It basically means they added an extension to the color space. You basically get your brights and your darks all in one image. The color space is better accurately rendered if you have a TV for it. Now, this is new for PlayStation people. If you were an Xbox person, Microsoft actually did this already through Auto HDR. So this isn't actually even new for the Xbox players. You already had it through Microsoft. They did it as part of upgrading these games on a software OS level for Xbox players. Sometimes you'll notice in Xbox games, they'll actually give you 60 frames just through their extensions, just through their updates to the software. And that's Microsoft giving the update, not Rockstar. That's Microsoft doing it. So Xbox people already had this. Then they said ray tracing. Oh man. Oh boy, let me tell you, they put enough ray tracing in here to write the word ray tracing without getting fucking sued. Because I really had to open it up. I had to play Where's Waldo with the ray tracing. So a lot of people think ray tracing is like pretty reflections, and sometimes it is. Ray tracing is actually a bunch of graphical techniques. It means ray traced reflections, ray traced global illumination, which is lighting. It could be ray traced audio even. It could even be, things like ray traced shadows, which in this case, that's all we end up getting. So to understand, ray traced shadows are the least, I don't want to say they're the least demanding because that's not entirely accurate, but they are, in a lot of cases, the least visually impactful forms of ray tracing. A lot of people will be looking for reflections of their characters and windows. Maybe ray tracing could have helped the rear view mirrors in GTA 5 work, which they still don't. No, what you end up here is with shadows, and the shadows are pretty difficult to find. Initially in the game, I tried to find them, and I believe they exist inside in like interior locations, because I actually noticed a bug in the game where the BVH structure, the actual shadow rendering on Michael, was failing right in the beginning of the game. See, I believe the ray tracing here works from the sun. So basically it calculates the sun cast shadows. So if you're actually outside and you enable ray tracing, you'll start to notice shadows accurately rendered that are firing off of the sun. See, it seems like the actual ray tracing goes from the sun casting its light, casting all of its shadows, versus everything else. I believe in a lot of those cases, if it started calculating every light source for shadows, this would cripple these systems. Remember, these are $400 gaming systems, not $1,000 GPUs that still require upscaling to ray trace. So of course there's some exceptions to be had. Now, this doesn't mean that headlight shadows are going to be cast if you're front through ray tracing. That still isn't a thing. I felt like that would have been more impactful than noticing a shadow accurately casted on a garage somewhere in the distance. But hey, it is what it is. The ray tracing does exist. Now, is the ray tracing worth losing 30 frames over? No, not at all. That's why you play a performance ray trace or just performance mode. Fuck fidelity. Fidelity means nothing. Oh, but Muda, what about the reflections? They look sharper. Yeah, in some cases, reflections in the ground can look sharper. That's because the cube map in this case benefits from the extra resolution that fidelity mode is offering. Again, ask yourself this much. Is that marginal increase of visual fidelity worth the game running like dog shit in comparison to a buttery smooth 60 frames? You be the judge of that, okay? I'm just gonna say, it ain't. Then they said improve texture qualities. Again, I really had to play Where's Waldo with this one. I think Michael, Franklin, and Trevor's character model looks marginally better. But again, you're really going to have to whip out the goddamn magnifying glass, okay, and find the Ark of the Covenant somewhere because it's not exactly readily apparent. Then they have the gall to say faster loading. Oh boy. This is something that they didn't even do. Now, to understand, these games, these upgrades are running on the PS5 and the Xbox Series S and X. You want to know what these systems force you to do? Install the games to an SSD. That's literally the benefit that they're getting. Just by the miracle of installing to faster hard drive hardware, they're getting benefits in loading times. You know, maybe I can show Rock. This is an Aya Neo, okay? This is like one of those handheld Steam Deck type things. I'm going to log in and just show you guys what some games can look like. So let's fire up GTA 5 real quick. I have the game right here loaded up and ready to go. So of course I'm moving around Franklin, as you can see. And here's the benefit of an SSD. If I just switch to Michael right now, we can see in real time how even on like a little handheld gaming device with an SSD, wow, look at that. I switched to Michael in damn near real time. Wow. It's called an SSD, guys. You didn't do anything special. It's not like these guys dug into the hardware, you know, sort of assist like, you know, the Velocity direct storage engine on the Xbox or the Kraken compression on the PS5 and decided to load things in that way. No, it's literally just an assist given by the hardware that these manufacturers have come up with. So congrats, guys. Faster loading. By the way, if you installed the base Xbox One version onto the Series, you would still get the faster loading with or without the upgrade. You would still get the PS4 load times improved if you installed the backwards compatible version onto a PS5. I have no idea what they're going on with this one, but congrats. Immersive controls. If you're on the PlayStation 5, the triggers feel nicer, okay? That's pretty much what it is. Because they got the DualSense, you know, like the you can feel the acceleration and the brakes and I guess the gunfire. Xbox players, until Microsoft updates them controllers, you ain't getting shit. 3D audio. Hear the sounds of the world with pinpoint precision. The throttle of a stolen supercar. The rattle of neighboring gunfire. The MK2 oppressor blowing your crates up. Yeah, this is part of the consoles, by the way. It's just a different sound engine. This is not ray-traced audio. Don't believe for a second that's what it is. That's why they didn't even mention ray tracing here. And that's pretty much what you get. You get a new menu. Woohoo! So if you played Red Dead 2, well, you get this cute little menu to pick what you want starting off, which I guess is cool. I guess is definitely the upgrade we expected. And then they give you the career builder. Now this is really funny. So if you're a new player on GTA Online, they give you the option to have up to $4 million to spend getting started. Now, if you all know, GTA has a bunch of different grinds that you can get into, and this game will introduce you to 4, okay? Gun running, biker, nightclub, and executive. If you pick the first 3 out of what I just mentioned, make a new character, because being a biker is not rewarding, being a gun runner is fucking definitely not rewarding, and being a nightclub owner basically means you're working in Los Santos sweatshops at this point. Executive is the way to go. Pick executive. Oh, but Muda, I have friends who want to be bikers, and I know we can make a lot of money. If you're here to make money, pick executive. Pick executive, and once you do it, the game forces you to spend between 3 to 4 million. So even if you optimally pick what you want, like I did, it still forces you to spend over $3 million. Rockstar will not let you keep any change over $1 million to start off with. So if you're a new player, save up your money for the Kasatka, run those Cayo Perico heists, and you can buy anything in the game with ease. That's pretty much the best advice that I can give you when it comes to making money. You want to make money on Grand Theft Auto Online? Cayo Perico all the way every day, okay? That's pretty much how it works. Now, also, if you wanted to say, transfer your character, this is an even a bigger doozy. So, as a PC player, I'm used to Rockstar leaking out my IP address because they still use peer-to-peer servers. Now, if you have a PC account, like let's say that you have an account like mine, where I started playing on the PS3, I migrated to the PS4, then I migrated to the PC, I could not migrate my character to the PS5. So really, unless you are a console player going to the next generation, that's for you. That's pretty much what it comes down to. So if you're thinking you're going to be a PC player that's gotten sick and tired of getting booted out from lobbies by a dipshit hacker, and you wanted to switch to a PlayStation 5 like me, not happening, chief. At least for me, at least for the long-time players, it ain't happening. You're stuck on the PC, and that's pretty much how it goes. And that pretty much killed my entire vibe for it. Now, to understand, I definitely wanted to play this game again. I wanted to relive the single player, and I actually am. I think if you're on PC and you have a relatively decent graphic card, there's plenty of mods that the community has created that allow you to revitalize the look of GTA 5, fixing up textures, adding new weather effects, making certain effects that are present in the game much more noticeable. I think there's a lot of mods that can add more vehicles, like my personal favorite is having a Mustang to drive around, new weapons, new gameplay loops, maybe new features, and that probably might be the better way if you want to revisit or replay. Obviously, even for a vanilla playthrough, a graphic pack update will be just enough. But I think if you have the resources, it's a lot cheaper to get it on a PC, and these mods do a lot more work than Rockstar has done in revitalizing this near 10-year-old title. Okay, so overall, this final upgrade really doesn't give a whole heck of a lot for it to be worth even $10, let alone $20 if you're an Xbox player. Yeah, what we ended up getting was a bare bones update to the entire game, which, remember, when it comes to Rockstar games, my expectations are the lowest they've ever been, okay? Trust me, I put more faith into an EA title, into an Activision title, into a fucking Ubisoft title, than I do a Rockstar re-release at any given point in time. Look, trust me, if you fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3, 4, 5 times, definitely throw me in the goddamn, throw me into the shoe, okay? Throw me into like special protective custody, because clearly I've gone crazy. So when it comes to GTA 5 on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and S, it's a bit of a joke, okay? Honestly, this should have been a free update. The fact that Rockstar even thinks that paying $10 for marginal, minimal upgrades is even worth it shocks me like crazy. I don't even actually recommend anybody who's already played the game to consider even bother upgrading. If you play online, for instance, on these systems, I would say try getting a gaming computer. I'm not joking when I say this, okay? It's $14 right now on PC. That's the premium edition with all the online boosts that a growing boy and girl could want. So when it comes for this game, the reason I mentioned PC is the port for this is actually so good that I would recommend, even if you have like a mid-tier PC, even a low-tier PC, you could run GTA 5 no problem. I don't doubt that this game would not run on modern, standard hardware of today. If it could run on a handheld gaming system with integrated visuals, it's going to be running fine on anybody's gaming PC. It's an old title. It'll be fine. And when it comes to the advantages like ray tracing, very minimal of that. I wouldn't recommend even picking this up on a console if you want to save some money and just get it on PC instead. Because it comes with a proper single player that, if you have never experienced it, is absolutely worth getting into. And as far as the online goes, if you have a VPN, which I assume most of the people watching my channel already do, make sure that shit is enabled, because you definitely need a condom before you stick your dick into this game's online infrastructure. That said, though, if you're a console player that has never actually played GTA 5 up until now, then this might be a pretty cool way for you to start off with. For $40 and 60 frames per second, if you have already been blessed with a PS5 or an Xbox Series system, not a bad deal. Not a bad sale whatsoever, okay? If you've never experienced a single player for this game, I would highly recommend you pick it up. Look, I know that I'm a little negative when it comes to this kind of stuff, simply because I think it's a cash grab. I think that this upgrade is absolutely meaningless in comparison to the other titles and the other, products released by, smaller companies. In my opinion, companies that have more respect for their consumers. That's where I stand, okay? But that's just somebody that's played GTA 5 since its release day, okay? Religiously. Now, when it comes to somebody, again, who's never experienced this before, I would recommend, maybe this might be worth picking up for a few bucks, okay? If you have like a PS4 version of the game sitting around, a base Xbox One version, maybe sticking it in and getting that cheap upgrade would probably not be a bad idea if you want to relive this experience or live it for the first time. I think that's totally fine to experience. But definitely a bit of a joke when it comes to upgrading. I don't know what got expanded and enhanced. Frankly, I'm still trying to find it out. That said, though, this is all I really wanted to say. This is me, Mutahar. This video's gotten long enough. I am out.